A major snowstorm is about to happen in the next 2 days for the southeast. Areas that rarely see snow will see up to 6 inches of snow. This will cause record-breaking snow totals and lots of problems. Taking a look at what's on your screen, this is the North American model's simulated reflectivity. So this is what's supposed to happen, and I trust this pretty well. As you can see, heavy snow is falling anywhere from Houston to New Orleans, all the way into the Florida Panhandle, and then all the way up into the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And then I'm not sure if you caught that, but there's a new storm that tries to form right over here around Florida, and it could make its way up into the Carolinas. Here's a higher resolution version of the North American model. So starting at around 1 a.m. on Tuesday, as you can see, heavy snow is starting to fall already over here in East Texas. And then if we continue to play this through, as you can see, the snow starts to move more south, and areas like Houston are getting heavy snow. Port Arthur is getting a sleet and snow mix, and then areas like Lafayette is starting to get some snow. As we continue to play this through even further, as you can see, the snow gets heavier and less sleet is in New Orleans now. As you can see, it looks like it's just heavy snow in New Orleans now at around 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And areas like Mobile, Alabama are starting to get some snow. And then if we continue to play this through, as you can see, the snow works its way over to the East Coast now, and areas of southern Georgia and everywhere really south of Atlanta is starting to get some snow. We're starting to get some ice problems on the east coast of Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. And our main storm is down here in the Gulf of Mexico, but as you can see up here, a new storm tries to form just a couple hundred miles off of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So before the main system even reaches, there is snow falling in the Outer Banks in areas like Wilmington. This is at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And then if we continue to play this through, as you can see, the systems start to interact with each other, and this causes heavy snow anywhere from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way down to Tallahassee. And then as we go through the overnight hours on Tuesday, the snow continues to work its way through. Anywhere west of 95 won't see significant snow because of the dry air. And as we get to the daylight hours of Wednesday, everything is out of here. By 6 o'clock, there's just a little bit of ice left over kind of north of Jacksonville, Florida. But this is really out of here before the light even shines. Now let's talk about how much snow we are going to get. Houston should get around 2 to 3 inches of snow. Lake Charles should be a hot spot and get around 4 to 6 inches of snow. New Orleans with about 3 to 4 inches of snow. Mobile, Alabama with around 2 to 4 inches of snow. Tallahassee, Florida with around 1/2 inch to 2 inches of snow. Charleston, South Carolina with around 1 inch to 2 inches of snow. Wilmington with around 1 inch to 3 inches of snow. And the Outer Banks could get around 6 inches of snow. So this is an ensemble product, so this takes a lot of different runs and adds them up together. So this is the mean snowfall, basically the average snowfall. So as you can see, areas up north, kind of areas like Birmingham, Alabama, you get around 1/10 of an inch of snow. So you likely won't get any snow from this. This is just 1 or 2 models that is showing you get snow. Areas like Raleigh, North Carolina, with around 1/4 of an inch of snow, it's likely going to be too dry on the north side of the system to get any snow to fall. But we have seen some trends lately. Let me show you these. Some of our high resolution models have been hinting at higher snow totals further north. And as you can see, this one model shows around 1/4 of an inch in Atlanta and around 1/4 of an inch in Raleigh. So if we do play this model through, as you can see, it has to snow a lot more north, areas like Atlanta and upstate South Carolina getting snow. But if we do something like a sounding right here, this will be confusing to understand. But right over here, you can see the surface temperature is 32 degrees and the dew point temperature at the surface is 10 degrees. That means that it is very, very dry, so it is very unlikely that any of this would reach the ground. It would likely evaporate before it reaches the ground. Just for reference, let's take one from Charleston to show you where it actually is snowing. As you can see, it's 33 degrees and then 21 degrees as the dew point. So even that is a little bit dry. Likely all of it that's showing up on radar is not reaching the ground. Some of it is probably still evaporating. But then somewhere like the Florida Panhandle, where it's been snowing for a long time, as you can see, this is definitely snowing. Right over here, 30 degrees and 28 degrees as the dew point. And you can see as you go higher up, it stays very, very moist. The green is close to the red. That means that it's moist. So the areas I circled will have a very large problems with dry air. So even if it does say that it's snowing on your weather app or something, it probably isn't, because the radar scan way above our heads. Now let's look at the systems that are upcoming and the system that we're getting right now in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So here's our system that we're expected to get right now. As you can see, we have a nice trough up in the northern United States. As you can see, it's a little bit positively tilted, but it does get more negatively tilted as we get to the end. Now, the reason why we were getting 20-inch snow totals a couple weeks ago from this system, and then now the snow totals are only around 6 inches, is because of this trough that's in the southern part of the United States. It's a way weaker than we first thought. So as you can see, as it's snowing in areas of the eastern United States, let me show you where our southern trough is. It's very hard to see, but it is right there. You can see that little kink in the jet stream. Now, let me go to one of the runs that was showing around 20 inches of snow, and you can see how different this is. As you can see, this trough that is right up here in the northern United States, it is a lot stronger and a lot more neutrally tilted. And then this one down here in the southern United States is also a lot stronger, and it is neutrally tilted. So the difference here is both of the troughs are weaker, especially the southern one, and they are both positively tilted, meaning that air from this is moving that way. If you want air that has good moisture, which means a lot of snow, you need it to be negatively tilted like that, so that way it pulls air in from the ocean. But let's look at what is to come. So as you can see, there's our system as it moves out of the way, and then we do have a new one that's coming in. This trough is a lot more favorable, but the models have not been really showing all too much of this. They were showing an ice storm for the Carolinas yesterday, but now they've kind of backed off a lot. So this is interesting. The models aren't picking it up very well. But as you can see, this is a lot more favorable of a trough for areas like Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. As you can see, it's very strong, but it is small. It is also neutrally tilted, which is good. So as you can see, it's neutrally tilted there if you follow one of those millibar lines. And we do even get a low pressure system that forms off of Florida. So if you do want to see what the GFS model does say for this, let me show you that real quick. So as you can see, we have that low pressure system that forms, but it does seem like on the GFS it forms a little bit too late. So you can see it kind of just gets pushed offshore, and any impacts to land do not happen. But this GFS run does actually have about 1 inch of snow falling in this little pocket of snow in Tennessee, which very well could happen with how strong that trough is that it's showing. But there are other models that are showing this. If we go to an earlier run of the icon, there's currently no models that are still showing this as impactful. But as you can see, there's our snowstorms that we're getting on Tuesday. And then this new storm that develops, as you can see, it's a big ice problem for areas of eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. So I still feel like this is very possible. I'm not too sure why the models are backing off on it so much. But I do not see why this wouldn't happen if that low pressure system does develop while that big trough is in place. But then aside from that, on Friday, it looks like there are many more chances for snow this year. But currently, we do not have any robust signatures that are showing up. Just a couple runs, here and there that shows a massive snowstorm, but then by a couple hours, they are gone. And if we look at our temperatures here, you can see this is our polar vortex that we're getting, giving us a very, very cold air. But then as we start to work our way into late January, warm air makes its way into the United States once again. But then as we enter February, there is a huge polar plunge that is happening in the northeast, but the rest of the United States stays pretty warm. So we'll definitely have to keep our eyes on possible severe threats once it starts warming up and more snowstorms in areas like the northeast. But that is really all. I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or would like to tell me how much snow you're expecting from the system, be sure to tell me in the comments down below. So I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video.